What's up YouTube? It's Onion Bomb here on Ascent Sports, and welcome to this video that I finally got around to making. I know it's like August, but I'm going to try and make these like I wanted to, and these are basically early season predictions for each NFL team, predicting the season, the record they're going to go in the regular season for each team before the regular season starts. And yeah, it's honestly almost preseason's about to begin. The preseason games, the Hall of Fame game was just like last night, so it's starting almost. So hopefully I can get these videos out before it starts, but I will try to go the speed that makes this still good quality, but not like too slow that I don't get these out. So I thought a good thing to do for this, in this case, is I'm going to, instead of doing it by each team, I was going to make every team a video. I'm going to make each division a video. And so instead of 32 videos I had to make, I'm going to make like 8. So yes, it's going to hinder the discussion a little bit. I'm not going to be able to discuss why every single game I chose the outcome I did. But I mean, some don't really need explaining. Some are self-explanatory, so I don't think it's that bad. So I think this is gonna work, and really, I have no choice at this point. So yeah, but don't forget, as the season goes on, I am gonna do weekly game predictions as the season goes on. Of course, you know, it probably will change some games because I might think a team's gonna do good and they do bad, and I might vice versa think a team that does bad is gonna do really good. And it just, injuries happen, so things change. So don't think because you watch these, you don't need to watch my weekly game predictions, because I'm not going to pick the same outcomes. I might, but not always. I won't. And one more thing before we do jump into it, I just want to let you guys know that this is all for fun, so no need to get too mad over this if I have your team going, like, you know, bad record. Like, it's really, it's not really important. What's really important is how the teams actually do in the actual regular season. This is just how I think it might go down. I'm just predicting it for fun. I am most likely going to be wrong in some cases, because I'm a moron sometimes. But yeah, it's all for fun. So you go ahead, you can tell me in the comments like what you think, but you know, no need to get too mad over this, because it's really all just me having fun. So I'll probably say something along the lines of that each and every video. So sorry if that annoys you. I just want to see if I can at least tame the hate that's probably gonna come to some of these videos a little bit, because you know, not every team can go 16-0. So yes, I do have some teams going pretty bad here. So yeah, let's without further ado, let's get into the NFC North predictions here. Okay, so this is how I'm going to do. So I'm going to put the actual prediction on the screen and then talk about it, so I can talk about it and as you can look at it too. So here is the prediction for the Pittsburgh Steelers 2019 season. Disclaimer: I am a Steelers fan. This is the team I am a fan of. So if you think there is bias in this, or you think I'm have them going too good, then you know that's why. Maybe I'm being a little biased, but I don't think I'm being too biased. I think it is possible for them to go 11-5, which, as you can see on screen, is what I have them going. I believe they can do it. However, I do think they can go anywhere from like 9-7 to 11-5. I'm going on the positive side and saying 11-5 because I believe the Steelers are going to be like a sleeper team that everyone like kind of forgot about or is not counting out. And again, maybe that's just me, like, you know, because I'm a fan of that team. But you know, it definitely could happen. So as you can see, week 1 though, starting out with an L in Foxborough and against New England. Yeah, as a Steelers fan, I know where that's going. So yeah. I do have them beating the Seahawks, but then I had them losing at the 49ers. It's at their home field, and it just, that game early on in the season, week 3, the 49ers, West Coast, 49ers, like a team that's also could be a sleeper, and a team that's just like kind of like meh, like it has good players, has potential, but not quite yet for playoffs. So it has choke game for me ran all over it for the Steelers. So I'm giving them a loss there. Might not necessarily be that game. I do believe the Steelers should beat the 49ers, but I don't think they will because the Steelers choke at least one win a season, a year. Sometimes more. In last year's case, a lot more. But yeah, that's why I had them going. Then, of course, being the Bengals, losing to the Ravens, which we usually do at least once. And then I have them being the Chargers. I know it's at the Chargers in the West Coast still. I know Steelers don't play too well on the West Coast. But I have that as a revenge game. And I know I could be being biased, but I really don't think I am. I like that as a revenge game. Steelers played the Chargers very close. In fact, should have won if they didn't, choke. And if there wasn't, there was a couple missed calls for penalties. So that did play. They almost beat the Chargers. So skill-wise, they almost beat. And hey, the Chargers came to Heinz Field and beat the Steelers. I think the Steelers can go to their stadium and beat the Chargers. So yeah. Then we got the bye week. Dolphins. It's been confirmed that it's going to be the Color Rush game. So yeah, Color Rush power definitely is going to work against Dolphins, giving them a win there. And here's where I think a lot of people are going to hate me for this. I have the Steelers beating the Colts. Now, yes, I do. This is the one I'm not 100% comfortable with. I definitely think the Steelers can lose to the Colts. However, I'm just not 110% sold on the Colts yet. Just because they kind of came out of nowhere last year. I didn't really think they were going to do anything that good, and they actually made the playoffs, and they actually made it to the divisional round. So, yeah, their Colts are a good team, but, if we're being honest, I'm low-key sleeping on them. Not entirely sleeping on them. I'm not going to discuss that too much about the Colts because I'll save that for the AFC South predictions with the Colts and all that. But I think the Steelers can beat the Colts. Plus, me, from the past couple years against the Colts, the Steelers have beat the Colts. So I'm not really ready, even though I should be. I'm not really ready to give the Steelers an L to the Colts yet. But it definitely could happen. But I'm going to stick to this and say the Steelers win against the Colts. So yeah. And then going, of course, to LA Rams. Really good team. They're going to lose that. Then, of course, the big at Cleveland. That's actually Thursday Night Football. I actually have them winning that. Then next week they beat the Bengals again, sweeping the Bengals. And then they lose to the Browns because they play them again. They lose. I have the Browns and Steelers switching off a win and loss. Why do I have it switch for home field advantage? It's because, I don't know. It's just something weird that could happen. Because the primetime game is at Cleveland, I feel like the Steelers are going to play better at primetime than the Browns. So, plus, home field advantage, it is a factor, but not always. Teams get being at home all the time, so I think it's realistic. I think that could definitely happen. So, yeah, I definitely have the Browns being the Steelers once and the Steelers being the Browns once. So next, of course, at Arizona, win. Buffalo, win. New York, win. And Baltimore, win. So they switch off against the Baltimore Ravens, sweep the Bengals, and switch off against the Cleveland Browns. And I have the Steelers finishing 11-5. Alright, next up we have the all hyped up Cleveland Browns. Really good roster. Will it work? Am I sold on the hype? Am I not? Some people are, some people aren't. We'll have to see. I am sold on the hype. I have them going 10-6. I think the Browns roster is too good for them to play worse than 7, 8-1 from last year because they improved on their roster and they finished that. So I think the Browns are actually going to be a good team. So yeah, let's see what I got. Week 1, Titans. That's a closer game than I think a lot of people think, but I think the Browns will come off with a win. Then at the Jets, win. I remember them being the Jets last year. I think they can do it again this year. LA Rams. I have them losing that. I don't think the Browns are quite on that level yet to beat a team like the Rams. Then I have them losing to Baltimore. I think, at Baltimore early on in the year, I think they can definitely use that. Then I have them beating the 49ers. But then I have the Browns losing against the Seahawks. I don't know. Something about that. I feel like the Seahawks can beat the Browns. They're still a decent team. And then New England, like I said, same thing with the Rams. Although more so, I don't think the Browns are to that level yet to beat a team like the Patriots. So I have them losing. Then, Denver win. Buffalo win. Then, of course, like you saw, I had them losing to the Steelers. Then the week break with a different team, I have them winning against the Dolphins, and then I have them beating the Steelers, and I have them going on a little stretch here. I have them beating the Bengals, beating the Cardinals, and beating the Ravens for the second time. But then I have the Bengals surprising them last week of the season and them losing to the Bengals. I don't know why. It just seems like a surprising thing that can happen in the NFL. It's very hard to predict stuff like that, but I'm at least going to try to. So yeah, I have the Browns finishing 10-6. I think it could definitely happen. I think they could even do maybe a little bit better, maybe even a little bit worse. We'll have to see. So yeah, I have them division-wise. I have them trading off a win and loss against each of the teams, the Steelers, the Ravens, and the Bengals. Next up we have the kind of slept on 2 Baltimore Ravens. Like with the Browns coming out of nowhere, the people are sleeping on the Steelers and the Ravens, who used to run this division just couple seasons ago. But yeah, heck, just last year. But yeah, what do I have the Ravens going? I have them going 9-7. So there's definitely some competition in the AFC North this year, definitely. So yeah, I have them beating the Dolphins for the week 1, beating the Cardinals. I have them then losing to the Chiefs because it's at Kansas City, and the Chiefs are a really good team. And then beating the Browns early on, beating the Steelers early on at Pittsburgh, kind of like what they did last year. Beating the Bengals. Which is 3 divisional games in a row. I have them being all of that. And then being the Seahawks at Seattle. So, bye week happens. They're feeling good, but the opposite happens. They get beat by New England because, I think just New England's just too good of a team for the Ravens. And then the Bengals and their home territory beat them. Then they lose to the Texans. And then they lose to the Rams at LA. But they try to pick it back up here, beating the 49ers, beating the Buffalo Bills, and beating the Jets. But they can't quite finish it off, and they lose to the Browns, and they lose to the Steelers for the last 2 games of the year, finishing 9-7. So, I have the Browns I have the Ravens being kind of wobbly, like being really good, and then being really bad, and then mellowing out, almost how the Steelers season went last year. I have the kind of Ravens doing that. Ravens definitely have a decent team. I just don't think it's going to be enough to get too many more wins than 9. Maybe they go 10-6, 11-5, but they're not going to go worse, I don't think, than 8-8, but they're going to be in that range. So definitely the Browns, Steelers, and Ravens have competition here in the AFC North. Gonna be interesting to see how it turns out. Alright, and now for the last team in the AFC North, the Cincinnati Bengals, and I have them going 4-12. Yeah, I don't think the Bengals are gonna be the best team this year, especially with how much better the Steelers, Ravens, and Browns are. But yeah, let's see. Week 1 at Seattle, definitely an L there. Then San Francisco, that's an L. I have them beating Buffalo. I'll give them a win in Buffalo. A lot of people are thinking the Bills are going to be really good. I'm not sold on them yet. Definitely not yet, but we'll see. But yeah, they're losing to the Steelers, losing to the Cardinals even, the Ravens, the Jaguars, the Rams, definitely. And then I had them beating that, Baltimore after, their bye week 2. Because they're coming off a bye too. I have them losing to Oakland, at Oakland, then losing to the Steelers again, losing to the Jets, losing to the Browns, losing to the Patriots, definitely. But then I had them, they're beating the Dolphins, and then beating the Browns that last week, that, one last surprising win. Possibly benching, maybe? I don't know. Well, it depending, not how I did, of course, because I already, as you know, I have the Steelers winning the division, but maybe in real life, maybe the Browns do secure the AFC North, so they bench, and that's why they beat the Bengals. I don't know, but yeah, I just don't really think the Bengals are the best team, so I'm only giving them 4 wins. I think it's realistic. They're just like, I just don't think they're any good right now. I know a lot of people last year were really sold on them when they went like 2-0, and then they're like, last time they did this, they went 8-0, and that did not age well. I think they finished like 6-10, and now AJ Green looks hurt. So yeah, I don't think the Bengals are going to be that good this year, unfortunately for them. So that is my prediction for the AFC North. In first place, I have the Pittsburgh Steelers at 11-5. Second place, I have the Cleveland Browns at 10-6. Third place, Baltimore Ravens 9-7, and then fourth place, I have the Cincinnati Bengals at 4-12. So yeah, definitely I have some competition, but yeah, I do have the Steelers winning the division. Am I being biased? Probably, but I think it's definitely a possibility. I know it's not like. It's definitely not set like it is some years, but it's a possibility. This definitely could happen. But I think I'm being even with being possible Steelers bias, I believe I'm being fair. Like I'm giving Cleveland a decent season with with their stacked roster yet inexperienced, and with Baltimore still being Baltimore, and like Steelers, even though they lost AB and Bell, they still got a decent team work around and stuff, and then the Bengals just kind of being there. But yeah, I think this is a fair assumption. So yeah, we will have to see after I do all this what this happens. Of course, I have the Steelers in the playoffs, winning the division, but what will that leave that? Will the Browns and or the Ravens make the wild card? We'll have to see. 10-6, 9-7. Definitely a possibility for both of them. We'll see. But next time, I will be doing the AFC South. So, the Texans, Titans, Jaguars, and Colts. Those predictions are coming next video. But for now, that's going to be it for me. Thank you guys for watching. Like or dislike. Subscribe or don't subscribe. That's always up to you. And I'll see you guys in the next video watch of me. Goodbye.